I'm going to read them back to back. Whoever welcomes one such child in my name welcomes me. If any of you cause one of these little ones who believes in me to sin, it would be better for you if a great millstone were fastened around your neck and you were drowned in the depth of the sea. Truly, I tell you, whoever does not receive the kingdom of God as a little child will never enter it. And he took them up in his arms, laid his hands on them, and blessed them.
Okay, until I get my Britney Spears mic, I'll be using this one, okay? All right. Earlier this morning, Aaron led us in our safe training, which is something we United Methodists have placed so that we do our diligence, we do our part of protecting and reducing the harm of our children, of those who are marginalized and vulnerable, who often don't have a voice. And so today, I will also be speaking and sharing on that theme. So there will be words like sexual abuse, emotional abuse, child neglect. If these words are too much or triggering for you, do what you need to do to take care of yourself. But they will be shared, and I will not become one of those religious institutions that will minimize or dismiss because the topic of child abuse and sexual abuse is too hard to talk about it, or because it's uncomfortable, or because it seems inappropriate. Because all the things that you have heard, I have experienced as a child in church growing up. So when you talk about 1 of 4, 1 of 6, Aaron said it's not if, it's when. And we just have to safely assume that these things do happen. It's a matter of us not being aware, us not paying attention. And so today I'm going to do something a little bit different. It's also a contemplative pathway. And contemplative, Thomas Keating, who was the founder, not the founder, but a person who made a movement on centering prayer, which is one of the contemplative pathways, says God's first language is actually silence. Everything else is just noise, is what he would say. And he also quotes, let me see if I have his quote here. Right. And he talks about how the Westerners are wordy during prayers. Oh Lord, you know, and they say it might have a lot to do with just a lot of things that are inside us. But Thomas would actually say, we think of prayer as thoughts or feelings expressed in words, but this is only one expression. Because deep prayer is the laying aside of thoughts. It is the opening of mind and heart to body and feelings, our whole being, to God, the ultimate mystery, beyond word, thoughts and emotions. Was probably practiced more often until the 16th century. And then it became it disappeared. But you know about the Jesus teaching prayer, the centering prayer, a lot of the prayers that seem like a mantra where you slow down. And what the motivation is that you want to be in the presence of. You want to be aware of God's presence in your life. So how does this fit in? If you heard these words of Matthew and Mark, let me just read them to you again. If anyone causes one of these little ones, those who believe in me, to stumble, it would be better for them to have a large millstone hung around their neck. Talk about like visual imagery of neck and be drowned in the depths of the sea. And the next one that Heather read for us, truly I tell you, anyone who will not receive the kingdom of God like a little child will never enter it. Almost like a threat. And then he took the children in his arms and he blessed them. God's attention and care to children, God's attention and care for the vulnerable should have us pause. Have us pause and wonder, what is it that we're really talking about? I will tell you folks, so often, many things that happen that I did not want to happen happened because the adults were busy. Too often, I was in churches, I was in classrooms where too often adults were doing their thing. And that's their thing. They come, adults have their own agenda, they have their responsibilities, they're busy networking, especially as immigrant churches. That's the only time sometimes you get to see your own people. And so you come with an intention to network and you come, and the kids as excited, but they're left on their own. We have important meetings, so the talks continue in the sanctuaries and then out in the parking lot. And the kids just roam around, expected to just wait until it's done. But these were all the places and times where things happened to me that I did not approve of, that I later said, that's actually child abuse. That's actually child neglect. And it's because somebody, not one person, had paid attention. Because if they did, they would have known that I said out loud, I don't like wearing dresses to church. If someone had paid attention to me, they would have known that we kids are playing house. We're playing hospitals. If adults paid attention, they would know that children are resilient, yes. But they are not there to safeguard and protect themselves. That is our responsibility. That is on us, folks. And it's not just the children. We, as a society, don't talk about, in America, one of the first things that I learned, my dad said, in America, they take children, women, and elderly seriously. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, because in Korea, when you cross streets, doesn't matter if you're a human or an animal, the car has the right of way. And the first time I was trying to cross the street, assuming the car's going to go first, and stopped because the car noticed me, even though it wasn't my turn to walk. I said, whoa, this is pretty extraordinary. That's a norm. It's a culture. What kind of culture are we creating? So often we leave elderly abuse out of it, but we should be more diligent about what kind of forms abuse looks like in our elderly. Not a lot of times they're dependent on their adult children or others who can help them be autonomous, be independent. But people, because we're humans, because family, because maybe they are families, it gets even more conflictual. And boundaries can be crossed and can be blurry. So while we're busy, I like for us to hear a story in a contemplative way. And I'm going to ask you to participate and practice in one of the centering prayers. And I'll just lead us. And the story that I'm going to read for all of us this morning is called Old Turtle. Oh, Donna knows this one. She has the book. Okay. And Elizabeth. Kelly has this book too. That is wonderful. Okay. So you get to okay. It's a story by Douglas with watercolors by Chang Ki-chi. And not only that, I'm going to do this too, folks. That's fine. As we come to the end of your centering prayer, thank God for the gift of silence and presence. Say any last words you long to say. Then you may open your eyes and turn to your neighbor. And let's share about what was that like? What was the hardest part? What feelings did it brought?